Hi everybody, it's Lauren Brown, also known as Raggedy Royal on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now YouTube. Today we're going to be doing this fall colored soft glam. Yeah. The first time we did this, it was for New York Fashion Week, and I had on a plum ground. I went to Tea Around Town, and they were like, we want you to wear autumn colors. So that's how I came up with this. Y'all loved it. I loved it. So I decided to do a tutorial to kick off the start of fall. They say summer is over, so we'll see. If you enjoyed this video along the way, please give it a like. If you learned anything, give it a like. Subscribe down below. We're working towards 100,000 subscribers. We just hit 52,000, so thank you so much for that. And let's get right into the video. Oh, I will give you a disclaimer. Do your eyes before your face today, because the fallout, you only want to do your base once, not twice. Let's get into the video. Okay, so we're going to start with a medium blending brush right here. This one's from BH Cosmetics, which sadly does not exist anymore. But you can use any brush that you have that's comparable to this one. We're going to be going into the Too Faced The Natural Nudes palette to start. And we're going to be using this warm medium brown shade, which is probably my favorite medium brown shade in my entire collection. Sometimes I blend light to dark. Sometimes I blend dark to light. I am short on time. Whenever I'm short on time, I put the medium shade first and then blend it both ways. I don't know if it's faster. Experts weigh in. But we're going to start on the outer corner, which is out towards the ear, in the crease. Where is your crease? Look up, look down. That flap, that's your crease. If your crease looks different than mine, that's cool. You can also go halfway between your brow bone and your lash line, which is about here. And I'm going to use circular motions to blend all the way to the inner corner. And this is a Raggedy Royal tutorial, okay? If it's your first one, consider subscribing. But there's going to be a lot of blending. If it's not your first one, then you already know it's going to be a lot of blending. So you don't have to have this step nice and pretty and perfect right now. Because guess what? We're going to be doing a lot of blending it out with lighter colors and darker colors. This just gives us a skeleton to work with. Now we're going to go in with a fluffier brush, and let me just give you a Lauren Brown brush breakdown real quick. We haven't done an eyeshadow tutorial in a little while, so I haven't got to do this in a little while. But as you go up the eye, which is up towards the brow bone, you're going to use fluffier and fluffier brushes. The brush bristles are not as densely packed, as closely packed together, so they're going to be fluffier. Those are going to diffuse the color. Then as you go down the eye, you're going to go in with denser and denser packed brushes. These thinner, they look thinner, but they're not necessarily thinner, but these thinner brushes right here are going to really pack in the definition and pack in those shades. So you really use these for darker shades, these for lighter shades, but because we do rainbow on here, I don't want to think darker and lighter. I just want to think about diffusing and building depth. There you go. So since we're going to be diffusing this color and we're going to be going up towards the brow bone, you're going to use a fluffier brush. This one's also from BH Cosmetics. Oh my gosh. But you can use any fluffy brush in your collection. We'll be going to these light brown shades here. This one is orange tone. This one is more cool tone. And honestly, you probably could just use this one palette for all the browns, but I just really love that Too Faced Nude palette. But if you want to use it for all the browns, maybe you're traveling or you just want to save money, this will probably work too for all the browns. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend out towards the ear. I start in the outer corner on this eye, and I'm going to just be blending up in circular motions to the brow. The brow's going to be covered a little bit. Guess what? That's an occupational hazard, okay? It happens. Sometimes the brow gets covered. I'd rather the brow get covered than not get really, really close up there, and then there's a white streak from where you can see my primer. The primer is really not to be seen. It's the girdles, it's the panties. I say everything is the girdles and the panties on this channel, all the primers, but it's true. I don't know if I want to apologize for telling the truth. We're blending that out. Doing the same on the other eye, and because it's one color all the way across the crease, I can start in the inner corner or the outer corner because it's just one color, as opposed to like a rainbow cut crease, which we've done before, where I have to think about where I'm putting what color and like really be organized. Now I can kind of just blend it all the way across. Because yeah, this was like a soft glam. It started out when I did this the first time, and then it just we're not cutting the crease, so it kind of has like those soft glam, kind of like it's not very strict on where you're putting what. You have to be very organized in your blending, that sort of vibe. Now I'm going back in with that medium brown. I told y'all there's going to be a lot of blending to make sure everything is good. Going back in with that medium brown just because we lost it a little bit when we blended it out. All right, now I'm gonna be going in with this brush right here. This brush is kind of the same size as this brush because we're not necessarily building definition here, but we want to introduce the plum shade here. They changed all their brushes, so I don't know if they even still have this one, but something comparable. And this is where the fall comes in, right? This looks like a soft glam. We're about to make it fall. So I'm gonna be going into the Colourpop Matte About Hue palette. We're gonna be going into this shade right here. It was the perfect match for the dress when I wore it the first time. So blessed. God's so good. God's still on the throne. And I'm going to start on the outer corner and blend it right exactly where that medium brown is. That's going to give us a tinge, a hue of that purple. And the thing about when you want to mute a color out, right? When you want to mute a bright color out, you blend it with brown. Blending this purple in really makes it fall, and it kind of mutes the purple. So it's not really a purple eyeshadow look, but it's plum, right? So if anybody ever said that they were really scared to use colors, I would tell them, don't be. But you know, if they really insisted on being in fear, I would say, hey, you can always mute it with a little bit of brown and it won't be so, you know? So that's what blending that purple in is doing here. I'm going to go back in. After every step, you can go back in and redo the last couple steps, right? So I'm blending it out with that light brown and that medium brown. And now we're going to deepen the crease. So we're going to go in with a thinner brush. Exactly, you're learning. So I'm going to go in to that same Matte About Hue palette. I'm going to go in with that darker purple. And I already know this is going to get everywhere and leave a lot of fallout on my face. So I'm going to give it a good tap before I apply it. And we're going to go in towards that outer corner. The outer corner is out towards your ear. And this gives the eye a little bit more shape. I'm going about 4/5 of the way in. And right here, it looks crazy. So that's why I'm going to go back in and redo that last step and blend out that purple. You can see more blending purple here. I think my camera cut off in the middle of the last time I applied this purple. So if you feel like it was a crazy jump, the phone got too high. That's the thing about applying and doing so many tutorials in one day. This inner corner is a hot mess, but guess what? We're gonna fix it when we clean it up with the shimmers. When we add glitter on top, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. Blending that out, and now we're going back and repeating steps. So I always say in makeup, guess what? You're never going to apply color once. You're never going to do a step once, especially with eyeshadow. So I'm just going back in, and that's the reason why I explain everything the way that I do in such detail and why we do what we do. So if you say, hey, I feel like my eye is too light, I need to be a little bit deeper, you know you're in with that taper brush in that dark shade. If you're feeling like, I feel like the eye is too dark, you're gonna go in with those lighter browns and those fluffier brushes to diffuse. So now's the time to do that. I feel like we're looking pretty good. Now let's get into the lid. So I want to take a flat brush right here and a little bit of eyeshadow primer. You have some concealer, anything like that, that works as well. And on the flat brush, I'm going to add a little bit of the primer. I'm going to pat it out though, so there's not too much, because too much is too much liquid. Think about wetness on the eye. That's going to be a mess. That's going to be a hot mess. And I'm just kind of building us out a little bit of a shape here. It doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be too much primer in the crease, because the thing about primer in the crease is that, think about a liquid and something moving. The primer is liquid, the crease moves. As you open and close your eyes, it becomes a hot mess. I'm gonna take my finger and just kind of flatten it, spread it a little bit. This seems crazy. Just because I'm such a like perfect cut crease type of person, but just walk with me. Now we're gonna go in and I'm gonna mix these oranges here because I want something a little bit lighter than this shade and a little bit darker than this shade. If you ever want to get the middle between two shades, just use both of them. And I'm going to apply that right on where we applied that white. This is just going to be the base for the glitter. I don't really like to apply glitter right on top of primer or right on top of the eye with nothing. Because when I apply my glitter, I like it to be a little bit more sparse, a little bit more see-through, not super opaque. So I need something to go on top of. So that if it's see-through, you know, not to use another girdle example. All right, now I'm going to take this brush right here. It's pretty densely packed. This is a Colourpop E17. I'm going to go into just the dark orange alone, and I'm going to just blend out the edge a little bit. It's still a mess. I'm just gonna blend out the edge just a little bit. Now I feel like I'm starting to get a line of demarcation, which is when you blend your eyeshadow too much and it starts to separate from itself. So you just go ahead and just leave it alone, leave it alone. Now for the glitter today, we're gonna be using the Danessa Myricks ColorFix sticks in foils. Pretty gorgeous. And I'm going to apply that to the back of my hand. I would like to apply glitter. Oh, wow. Okay, this is like brand new, so it's very, very creamy. And I was applying way too much, way too much force. My fault, my fault. I just posted a video of me with the mint one on. And it's crazy because I was wearing the mint one to an event. And I walked in and Danessa Myricks was on the microphone talking at the event. And I got to tell her that I was wearing her eyeshadow. And it was just great. So, shout out to Danessa Myricks. But I'm going to take that on that flat brush from before. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply it, especially up here where we kind of have a mess. That's where we're going to really need the glitter. Oh, it's kind of the same thing. This is the shade Metallics. Okay, I think I could use both. Hold on. Especially because they sell it together, so why not? They're both kind of the same gold, rustic copper color. I'm going to apply that. I feel like it looks pink right here. It's not pink, but we're going to add some gold on top, and that will really right size it. Pink and yellow do make orange. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the Morphe Mixed Signals. This is a frequent friend to the show, but I don't think we used this color before. And this is a dual-ended eyeshadow. I like the liquid side in shade BFF FWB. And I'm going to put it on the back of my hand. I'm just going to thin it out a little bit and add that on top once I feel like I have enough of the rust copper shade. And this it's like a gold, but it has like an orange holographic look. So yes, 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 yes. Okay, we brought it back. Y'all didn't know, but I was a little nervous about the pink. I said, this is more pink than I remember. But it's okay. You also could just add it on top if you're like me and you have none left in the container. I don't know what it is about me and using products that are almost empty for the YouTube tutorial. I think it's because I love my products, so I really use them, and then I'm like, oh wait, the people want a tutorial. Oh, I want to make a tutorial about this. And then by the time I get to that point, it's like, oh, there's none left in the That's why I need y'all to love me for me and not for how much product I have left in the tube. Because everything I use just be looking well loved. And that's accurate. Ooh, that's a little bit too much. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the outer corner, then go into the inner corner. I'm going to be going in with that dark orange first. And you'll know when I do any soft glam, I want to make sure that there's an ombre both vertically and horizontally. I'm going to add some orange here first because the orange is darker and more opaque. And I need something a little bit darker, right? So I'm going to go into a little bit of that darker orange and go right here and applying this here. Yes, 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 yes. So there's an ombre between those light orange glimmers in the inner corner and on the lid out towards the outer corner. Then I'm going to go in with the purple because like we saw before with a little bit of the demarcation, I don't want to use a blending brush and try to go like this to get the ombre. What I'm going to do is I'm applying different colors, kind of like, not a color wheel, but you know how they have basically a color wheel. Yeah. Kind of like a color wheel where it's like I'm just going to apply the colors and it's going to gradually build the ombre without me having to swipe back and forth viciously because I don't want to do that. Yeah. Now we need to address this upper part. I'm going to go in with that dark blending brush, and I didn't even add any more to the brush. I'm just using what's already there. And I'm going to go in with that E17 and a little bit of that dark orange and blend on the inner corner to kind of cover and mute and blend the glitters in a little bit. Just in case they got a little too unruly. And the fun thing, like we said before, is you can always go back in and add more. This one little glitter is unruly. I'm gonna add some more near it so it doesn't look so out of place. Okay, very nice. I'm going to go ahead and clean up this under eye by hopefully, prayerfully, thank you Jesus, swiping it away and then going, look at that, look at that. For the waterline, I use the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk and a craft brush. Y'all know I have a waterline 101 video. I have a waterline 101 video if you want to learn more about the waterline, but this is just a quick little overview. I'm going to use a craft brush and go along the eye, because I still want the eye, even though the eye's a little vampy, a little moody, a little fall, I still want, you know, it to be bright, especially because what we're going to do next with the lower lash line. Very nice. Okay, now I'm going to take another flat brush. This is the same flat brush as before, but I have two. So instead of cleaning the orange one, I'm just using another one. And I'm going to go into shade Stop. That's pretty funny. And we're going to go in on the lower lash line. Yes. When I did this the first time, I literally felt like a genius adding this to the lower lash line, because I needed a pop. I wanted to do something a little bit different. I was soft glammed out and it's fashion week, so I was like, let's just try out everything. And I'm going to go in with shade Say Less, because I feel like it was a little bit lighter than this, especially in towards the inner corner, because we're going to be going in with yellow on the inner corner. Now y'all see why I like to do my base after my face, because you see all the fallout, but I'm going to fix it up a little bit in a second. The inner corner, luckily I have a little bit of eyeshadow primer left. You could use a makeup wipe. Usually I would just use a makeup wipe right here because I wouldn't have on base makeup. But since I already have on base makeup, I'm going to go in with a little bit of primer, because I don't want to, you know, disturb the concealer underneath. And I'm going in with yellow, because yellow is in between orange and green on the color wheel. So I knew that it would just kind of make things more cohesive. The thing about the soft glam is that it has soft boundaries, right? Which means that I can blend up into here if I want, and blend up into here if I want, to really make it cohesive, because there's not harsh lines and harsh boundaries like in a cut crease. So you can kind of just take some artistic. I can also go back in with that orange if I want, to really make it, you know, cohesive. Okay, so now I'm going to go apply lashes. If you want to know how I apply lashes, don't worry, I have an entire video for you. I'm also having a masterclass soon, a Lips and Lashes with Lauren live masterclass, so you can get your tickets down below. If you want to know how I apply lashes in person, I got you. I'm going to apply my lashes real quick and fix this all up, and I'll be right back for the outro. All right, so here is the final look. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe down below. We're working towards that 100,000 subscribers. If you want to buy any of the products that I use on my face, they're going to be in the description bar below, as well as the tickets for the masterclass. I would love to see you at the Lips and Lashes with Lauren live masterclass on October 25th. If you want to see any more of my looks, more of my life, more soft glam videos, they'll come up on the screen. There's a playlist for those. But if you want to see more of my look, my life, anything like that, you can check me out on the Shorts tab. I post way more videos over there. Also on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at Raggedy Row, and Threads. Same way it's spelled down below. And I'll see you in my next video. Hey, leave a suggestion down below what you want it to be, and it might just be your suggestion. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.